What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Still Victory Monday. Still feeling good about things. Still enjoying the three-game winning streak. Obviously, it won't be long before we have to turn our focuses forward, trying to turn that into a four-game winning streak. But plenty of stuff to do between now and then. Plenty of stuff to do between now and the Cardinals game. So let's let's kick things off with Snap Count Monday, where we take a look at who played and how much they played. You guys know the drill. You guys know why we do this. You guys know what it's all about. So we're going to start with the offense like we always do. 64 snaps on offense, which is identical to last week. And it's a pretty typical number for a football game, I would say. It's pretty good given the fact that this team lost 2 fumbles on special teams, right? Usually when you lose fumbles on kick returns, you don't have that many plays that you can run because you just don't have the ball. So 64 is not bad. Now, it cuts both ways, right? We had a kick return allowed for a touchdown, which means you're going to run more plays because you get the ball right back. And there was also a fumble by the Jets that we recovered, I guess. But overall, 64 is not bad given the special teams disaster. Running backs, Walker gets the lion's share, 39 snaps. Didn't do a ton. Zach Charbonnet actually had a pretty nice game at 29 snaps, and he scored the game-winning touchdown and was effective otherwise, really. So Charbonnet, pretty effective. And pretty much in line with what you would hope to see. Again, it's really hard for Charbonnet to get consistent production in this offense, so I think that right now it probably behooves us to do something more in line with like a 3-to-1 split than a 2-to-1 split, but I don't mind the 2-to-1 split, or even a little bit less than that. Wide receivers, DK Metcalf, 48 snaps. Remember, he missed 2 snaps with the injury. Otherwise, he probably would have led the team in receiver snaps. JSN was 49. So both those guys are on the field a lot, although you'll notice there are a lot of snaps where they're not out there. And a big reason why is because we had to go to max protect. We had a lot of tight end action in this game. So those guys don't get to be out there as much as they probably want to be. And probably as much as Ryan Grubb wants them to be, honestly. I think Grubb wants them out there constantly, and the nature of this offense doesn't allow them to be. Lockett, you can see that his snap share has gone down significantly this week. Less than half of the snaps. He played 30 snaps. I don't see that as a bad thing at all. I'm not critical of that. I think that's probably fair. And it's reflective of where he is at this point in his career. 19 snaps for Bobo. He's the only other guy to get anything really. And Cody White with 6 and Chenault with 2. Again, I know that Bobo's out there trying to provide some blocking because the other receivers on this team struggle to block. I know Metcalf had a pretty good game blocking, but we're trying to get Bobo out there so he can block effectively on the outside, which is something that we need. So far this year, it really hasn't been good blocking from Bobo, if we're being real. So it's kind of hard to even get behind that fully. But given the way we had to play this game, this is a common sense, I think. Tight ends, a lot of tight ends in this game. You had Noah Fant playing 43 snaps, first game back in a while, 43, so most of the game. And then Pharaoh Brown had 26 snaps, and A.J. Barner had 26 snaps. So consistently, we had 2 tight ends on the field. We had a lot of 2 tight end things going on in this game. And I'm guessing that this number is helped a lot by how many goal line snaps we had, like that sequence at the 1-yard line, at the 4-yard line. That stuff definitely skews the numbers a little bit, but you're still talking about a lot of tight end snaps from every tight end you have on the roster who was actually active, right? Because Brady Russell, I don't think he was active for this game. If he was, I think he would have been on the field as a fullback a couple of times. So you can see what this offense has to do to survive right now, and it's too bad, but they're doing what they need to do when they need to do it. Offensive line's really simple this week. Every single starting offensive lineman played the whole game. Cross, Tomlinson, Oluwatimi, Lomia, and Lucas. So 64 snaps for all of them. The only slightly interesting thing here is Jalen Sundle. Jalen Sundle, 3 snaps. So, jumbo package, he gets out there a little bit, but that's about it. So, offensively, this seems pretty boilerplate to me, I think. I think that given the fact that this team felt a need to go jumbo package constantly, this is pretty much in line with what you would expect. So that's it for the offense. Let's jump on over to the defensive side of the ball here. 68 snaps, so slightly more defensive than offensive snaps, which again is partially because of the special teams turnovers. And also you have a pick six, I guess, because when you have a pick six, you score, but you don't have to run any plays to do it, and the other team gets the ball right back. And you can see we are basically at equilibrium. We have 5 games left, 803 defensive snaps, 806 offensive snaps. So we're talking about a big improvement over the last couple of years where we were way out of whack. So defensive line, the only thing that really stands out here would be how many snaps Leonard Williams played. He played 51. And he played so good. I mean, who can really blame anybody? You got to get him out there when he's playing like that, right? Like, what are you gonna do? Tell him, hey, you're playing one of the best games of your career. You're playing one of the best games any defensive lineman has ever played in the league, and we're gonna put you on the bench and only play you, 65% of the game? No, probably not. So 51 snaps. A lot of the extra snaps we played compared to last week are represented here, and it makes sense. Byron Murphy gets 36 snaps, so he's playing close to half the game. I'm down with it. I'm surprised we're able to get away with it, but Murphy playing about half the game is probably where you want to be given the fact that he is a 21-year-old rookie. Jaron Reed, 35 snaps, again, half the game. Good place to be with him, with how much of a veteran he is. You're hoping that he still has something left for December and January, and I think this is the best way to try to guarantee that. Like earlier this season, you had some games where because of injury, he had to play over 50 snaps a game. Definitely want to avoid that. Definitely want to tamp that way down. So where he's been the last 3 weeks in particular has been a really, really good. And then basically there's nothing else for the pure defensive linemen. Hankins had 10 snaps, so very insignificant. And Roy Robertson Harris, 13 snaps. So if they weren't here, you'd probably just throw Mike Morris and Cameron Young out there and you wouldn't really know the difference. And look, I don't want to sit here and belabor a meaningless trade where we gave up nothing. But at this point, I think we can kind of reasonably say we got nothing, right? Roy Robertson Harris, 13 snaps, 17 the week before, 19 the week before. You can't get that from Mike Morris. You can't get that from Miles Adams. Like, to me, I mean, I'm sorry to have to criticize something that doesn't really mean anything, but why did you have to give up a pick for this? You're not even playing him, really. You can't tell me that Mike Morris and Miles Adams are so incompetent at football that it's significantly worse to have them out there instead of RRH. So we didn't really give up anything in that trade, but we're sure not really getting anything, are we? By the way, RRH did have an offsides penalty in this game, so you could argue we're not even getting nothing. We're getting worse than nothing. That's about it for the defensive line. Linebacker, very simple this week. Ernest Jones plays every snap. Tyrese Knight plays every snap except for 15. He comes off the field. No other linebacker plays at all. So we're continuing to see consistent, similar results here. Edge rusher, Boye Mafe plays a big chunk of the game, 53 snaps. Little more than you would like, but Uchenna Nwosu's on track to come back in the next couple of weeks here. So his time of playing 50-plus snaps in a game should be coming to an end. Very soon here. Should be able to shave that down to about 40. And Derek Hall, he's already kind of there. But you'll be able to kind of consistently move Mafe, Hall, and Nwosu in and out of the game and have them each play maybe 35 to 40 snaps a game. 40 at most, honestly. Unless you end up losing faith in Nwosu because you don't like what you see from him, I guess. And then Draymond Jones, 34, which is where he's been the last few weeks. And honestly, he's been reasonably effective. Like, I made that video last week because I wanted to point out that, hey, this is this is not bad play he's providing. Yesterday, I don't think he had a very big impact, but you can look at it and you can see he's on the field for about, he's played in every game this year. He's been on the field for about 58% of our defensive snaps, and he is contributing in meaningful ways. He is doing things that are better than what we would have gotten out of a replacement level player. Maybe not by a lot, but if we didn't have him, the Nwosu injury would have probably been disqualifying. It probably would have completely derailed the season, or would have forced us to make another trade to get somebody else. And that's it. That's it for the front seven. Now we move on to cornerback here, where again it's pretty simple. Witherspoon played the whole game. Woolen played the whole game. Josh Joby played most of the game, 52 snaps. The Jets were in 3 receiver sets most of that game, so they're forcing Joby onto the field as much as possible. And they did push him around a little bit, I thought. It's not surprising. Like, you understand that even in a year like this, where Witherspoon and Woolen have had, less than perfect years, when Witherspoon, Woolen, and X are on the field at the same time, they're going to target X as much as they can, because he's just not as good as those guys. And finally, safety. Again, pretty straightforward here. Julian Love, Kobe Bryant play every snap. So you can see that even though Rayshon Jenkins is back and clearly healthy as he's going to be, Kobe Bryant has taken control of that starting job, and he's not going to let it up. And I don't see any reason to take it from him. So 27 snaps for Rayshon. He does play, just not taking the snaps away from Kobe. And Ty Okada got out there for 2 random snaps. I don't know when that happened, but yeah, he gets out there just a little bit, an irrelevant amount. It's a big improvement over the 25 snaps we gave him a couple weeks ago, where his liabilities really showed. And that's it for this week. Let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks.